I'm just very happy to have you here, Jacky.
No, I'm super excited. Thanks for having me.
I think the last time we met, the exhibition, I read that it got extended, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I got extended 1 week. It was meant to be 3 weeks and it ended up being a month. Yeah.
Okay. Congratulations
Oh, thank you so much.
for this first solo exhibition.
Mm.
Of course, my girlfriend and I were there. Actually, my girlfriend, she's a hobbyist as well. She used to work in art school for like 3 years, teaching like students how to paint and draw a bit. And one of our dating things that we do is we go around.
To kind of like draw things in public and stuff.
No, we go around because I can't draw at all. So we go around checking out exhibitions in the museums and art gallery.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, so one of the ones that we saw was yours.
Yeah.
Recently, another very good one was at the National Gallery by Chua Miati. The one is like a realism kind of like oil painter.
Yes.
Wow,
I think I happened upon that one. When I went.
that was I really
quite
enjoyed it.
insane. Yeah.
What are your coming out of the exhibition, right? What do you have plans for the next one already?
Not really. Actually, this whole exhibition happened quite spontaneously. I was literally having drinks at this place called Pearlsville Terrace. Made friends with these people called the Glass Hut, and they were like quite interested in having me do something with them, like a collaboration. Yeah, and we ended up doing an exhibition together. So it really happened within like a month. It was like just happened. I did not expect to have an exhibition, let alone a solo exhibition so early in my kind of career of sorts. Yeah.
Actually, for an artist, right? I think for like musicians, they're all looking for like, when's our first solo concert, or our first solo recital. What does it mean for you as an artist to do a solo exhibition like this?
Very honestly, it's just a dream come true. Yeah. So like for me, I guess my journey as an artist is quite like all over the place. I'll tell you more about it later. And it felt for a while like I wasn't really on track with what I wanted to do. So the fact that I could have this solo exhibition, people believe in my art and wanted to put it up, was really just, I couldn't believe it. So yeah.
Can you share with us? So you talk about the how it came along. You met these friends very randomly, coincidentally.
Yeah.
What is the logistics or behind putting up an exhibition like this? What are the preparations needed?
So to share more, this space that they had is quite big, maybe 1,000 square feet, and it's their first time ever putting up an event there. Before this, it was used as a storeroom for 10 years. Like the walls were leaking and peeling, and like the whole place was a bit moist. So they actually renovated the room themselves.
Okay.
And then they painted it to look like white walls, almost like a gallery. So after that, we kind of looked at, okay, Jacky, what pieces do you have available? What do you want to put up? What's the theme of your show? And then I thought about it. I didn't really prepare any of paintings specifically for this exhibition, but I had like 70 paintings lying around in my room. And you saw them yourself, like they're quite big. Yeah. So we just kind of like planned it out, laid it out using a computer, like Photoshop and stuff. And then we decided, okay, no, we have something going on here. Let's put it up. Yeah. So we brought it all over. My paintings are quite heavy, some of them. Then we kind of like drilled it up, tested out the layout. Yeah. So I don't know. Is there more you wanted to know about it?
No, of course we were going there. It was a very chill kind of concept. And the place is very chill, and it was basically, it felt almost as though like we were visiting your bedroom. You know that kind of feeling. Like if your bedroom was that big, and you had a chance to like put up all your paintings, all your work on your bedroom, it felt as though we just stepped in your bedroom and you just hosted people who came along.
I think.
What were some of the memorable experiences? People who came, were there any people that you did not expect, or how was it like, the experience?
Very frankly, I didn't really know what to expect. Like, even if we talk about my friends, I'm not going to expect any of them to come. I think I didn't really like hard sell this exhibition to my friends. Please come for my exhibition or whatever. I felt like if you want to come, you come yourself. But then I ended up meeting a lot of extra people as well, like old friends. I've met, like maybe about half of the people I met at this exhibition were brand new people. I didn't even know how they found out about this exhibition, because as you know, the space is not like the easiest to find.
Yep.
Yeah, there's like this bougainvillea bush that's like hiding the space a bit. Yeah, and some people were just interested in art. Some people are here to have a beer and then just happened upon the room. Yeah, I met a lot of interesting people. Some are artists themselves. Some are I feel like I almost don't have a specific person that's coming to mind right now, because I just met so many different people. I met like a podcast, a talk show host. Yeah,
and here we are.
Yeah, here we are now. Yeah, I feel like not really answering the question here, but when I had this exhibition, I was prepared for the worst case scenario, which is nobody comes for the exhibition.
Okay.
And in that case, I planned to use the space to do my own personal painting, like make use of this large space. And that was really amazing. But it ended up that so many people came over the course of the 30 days that like I spent most of my time showing people around, and I really enjoy talking to people, so that's good.
How many people came along for the exhibition?
I can't claim to know the exact number. I think it's easily in the 300, 400 range, and that's not including people who came for specific events. Like I just mean like over the course of looking at the gallery, you know. Yeah.
So are there any learning lessons from this whole experience?
Learning lessons. I feel like because I'm personally like my specialization is painting. I don't actually know anything about putting up a show or exhibition. So I think I learned a lot from trying to like make it happen. It's like the behind the scenes of art galleries, not just the glamorous painting side. Yeah, there were some hiccups here and there, but it's okay, you know, like it's all part and parcel of running a show, especially if it's by yourself, running it by yourself with the team at Glass Hut. Yeah, lessons, maybe how to take care of my paintings and make sure that people don't touch them. How to like enforce ticket sales and making sure that people pay for it. But I have to admit, these are details that I don't really care about that much myself, but I know it's all part and parcel of making the show happen. Yeah, I think all in all, I won't say there was any real major lesson learned, but it really gave me a taste of what I really want to do with my future as a painter and an artist, I suppose. Yeah.
So having a taste of this first solo exhibition, and you just mentioned about, you know, reflecting about this and thinking about your future. What would be an ideal second exhibition? How would it look like?
You know, like I was just thinking about this because at first, like for the month before this exhibition, I felt really sick to the stomach. I was like, wow, my first show, people are going to expect so much, right? Like a lot of people know that I've been a painter for like almost like 10, 12 years. How am I going to live up to that expectation when people come and see it in person? But now in hindsight, I was thinking, oh, it's my first show, you know. People are just happy to see it in person for the first time. There's actually not so much to stress about.
Yeah.
So now the second one is, how do I outdo myself? I think for most exhibitions, it's quite a curated thing, you know, like, okay, maybe 5 masterpieces on the wall. But for mine, it's like, you saw yourself, I put like 70 paintings up the wall. There's like very minimal curation. It was just like the green paintings are over here, the blue ones are here, purple are here. So now the question is, how do I outdo that, right? You know? So I think I might want to go bigger, like less paintings, but like massive. So maybe not really exhibition related, but I have some ideas for paintings of the future. Like I want to give my own contribution to Impressionism, which is a style of art that I'm really inspired by. And that's like this giant painting of space. Like I want to do a panorama, like maybe 8-10 meters long, and you see like the galaxy, but painted in my painterly style, I guess, my brushstrokes. Yeah.
How do you become an artist?
How did I get?
How do you start painting?
How did I start drawing? Actually, is I started doodling my whole life. I think I was one of those students, the problem student, you know, like just never paying attention, always like drawing your textbooks. And then that was less out of like interest and more out of boredom. So then in Sec 1 and Sec 2, you're kind of like required to take art. Everyone in school, no matter who you are, must take art and music, just as an exposure. And I think I did very well. And that's a reason why my grades were quite good, because it pulled up my average. And just like a typical Singaporean kid, I was like, oh, it's a good subject for me. I just take it in Sec 3 when it's like optional. And then when I took it there, I finally got introduced to painting, and it's like, pardon the innuendo, but it's like love at first stroke. Like, you know, I just felt it across the canvas, like, oh wow, I need to do this for the rest of my life. Yeah, and that's how I started. I was not a very disciplined kid, so even though I enjoyed it a lot, I was like, it's a bit hard to rein me in and just say, Jacky, sit down and paint for a while. But my teachers were quite good at that, and they kind of gave me encouragement and were the right sources of inspiration for me, like, in a way. So I just kept working at it. Yeah. That's how I started painting, yes.
So when you started to have this realization that you're actually pretty good at it and this love at first stroke, right? What was your parents' reaction to it?
Wow, you're opening a can of worms here. I guess the truth is, when they were the ones who encouraged me to take art in Sec 3 when it's optional. But the reason is probably less about the art and more about the grades. It's good for my grades. And I think as I kept doing well at it, like, okay, just to clarify, I don't think like I'm an excellent painter or anything. Like, I got a long way to go. But yeah, for sure, like in school, I was doing not bad at it, and they kept encouraging me to do it. I guess the truth is, I guess, later on in life when I became more interested in pursuing it, I think that's where the trouble came, because maybe it's hard to view it, especially for their generation, that painting is a stable career choice, something that is going to have any sort of career progression. Yeah, so maybe less supportive, but I don't blame them really. Like they are both accountants by trade. So yeah.
And understandably,
Yeah.
for in our society,
Mm.
a lot of parents, I think, get a little touchy and sensitive when they realize that their kids want to pursue arts or even music or just something that's alternative to the beaten path, right?
Yeah.
Is there a most memorable experience that you have with your parents, like a huge fight that you had, or they were just trying to like ban you from painting or like not giving you the money to buy the materials that you need or anything?
Well, I'm not sure if my parents can listen to this podcast after this. No, I guess I don't want to go into too much detail about
Yep.
this because it's quite a sensitive, long story. But the point is that I didn't want to go to university actually, because
Okay.
by then maybe I was already like 4 years after my high school life, and people have started buying my paintings. I've done murals in people's bedrooms and stuff, and like even though the money I was earning wasn't that much, I had this like vision that like there's a way that this can work out. Like my skills, I want to keep working on them, and hopefully people value my work more and more. But I guess for my parents, like having a degree is super important. So once again, I don't blame them. This is just the way it is for them, like.
And actually, it's a very reasonable expectation as well.
Yeah, in a way.
For parents to kind of expect. I don't know whether it's the right word to use, expect, but to at least aspire for your kids to have a degree. Yeah.
I just, even in I was around 22, 21 at that time, I already knew like how important it was for me to like work at this from an earlier like age, like my young adulthood, and not like take for granted that like, oh, I'm gonna have a lot of time to work on this. Because the mindset I had was that I want to spend my younger adult life trying painting and selling it and doing it as a career, and if it doesn't work out, then I can like opt out and still find something else later on. But I felt like the 4 years that I spent in uni was kind of like interfering with that plan. A degree is super important if you're trying to be a lawyer, a doctor, the usual stuff.
Yes.
But I guess for creative work, if you're commissioning a painting from me, do you care that I went to Harvard or Cambridge, or do you care that I paint well? I think probably the latter is more important, right? So I felt like there was a bit of a mismatch in what they wanted and what I needed. Yeah.
So did they visit your exhibition?
Yes, they did. It's been a long time, but of like kind of like disagreements and stuff. But I think that in their own way, they are supporting me now, and I'm really grateful for it.
And you didn't get your degree, right? You didn't go and get your degree.
I did actually. So
you
that's
did, okay.
after like years of like telling them that maybe it's not really what I wanted or needed.
Okay.
But I think I just kind of pushed through with it, with the help of a lot of friends who supported me and encouraged me. Yeah.
When do you first make money through commission work?
So how my school worked was that when you're 17 and 18, you spend 2 years preparing 16 to 18 pieces. It can be painting, it can be photography. So in the end of the whole high school life, you have to put up an exhibition.
This school is referring to which school?
ACS, yes.
ACS, okay. Yeah. So this is a proper subject that you need to take for O levels.
Yes. It's actually, this is my high school. So this is my IB.
Oh, IB, okay,
yes.
okay.
And the format is that the end of it, the exam is you put up exhibition, and the examiner will walk around your exhibition and you show them around. And I think it was shown around in school. People could walk past it, and then some people bought my paintings. The honest truth is like they didn't pay me very much. By the time I was so happy with the money, I was like, wow, people actually want to own my painting. Like, I've just started doing this as a hobby, Yeah, and I think that kind of gave rise to this thought that maybe I can pursue this as a career. And much to my parents' dismay, I think, probably that's not what they wanted or hoped for.
Who are these some people? Are they like teachers or fellow students?
Yeah, I think there's a teacher as well as a student. The student, I am not going to lie, they paid me with a bottle of gin and some like $50 maybe. But to me, I was like so happy with this. Like, wow, there's a way to convert my paintings into
cold hard cash.
Cold hard cash, yeah.
For survivor.
But of course, probably to anyone at that point of time, we're like, $50 is not a big deal. It's not you're not gonna raise a family with this or anything. Yeah.
So being a student then, right?
Yes.
Obviously you had to do well in your pieces as well because it's part of your gradings.
Yes.
What about the grades for your other subjects? Did so much bandwidth go into painting that your other subjects actually. How were you? So I'm just thinking, as a student during that time, right? What was your mindset like? Your thought process, whether you already, and also especially like just making that little money, right?
Yes.
When do you first entertain really the thought of, okay, maybe this is something I can go full time, and how did you work? How do you build on that thought and eventually get to where you are today?
I guess as a student, because most of my friends in this school, right, we are like expected to do very, very well. Like compared to the rest of the world, for some reason, our school really always produces very good results. But I guess for me, I never, for lack of a better word, I gave a shit about this lah. I'm not really the academic sort. I was always the sort that would be like skipping class or like yeah. And while yes, a lot of my energy went to art, I won't blame art for the my bad grades. That's really just on me because I don't really care about the rest of my subjects. Um, and maybe so like I during my art IB exhibition, the exam, the examiner actually was so happy with my work that she offered me a partial scholarship for an art degree overseas.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, and like to me, I was like, wow, and that was like maybe 1 month before the rest of my exams, and I just think to myself, why do I even need to study if I actually already have maybe a spot in university already, right? The whole point of your high school exams is to get into university, so I really didn't care about the rest of my subjects. But I also didn't end up doing that degree because I thought actually I'm very happy to continue pursuing this myself and not necessarily pay so much money to go overseas for this. Sorry, yeah. Yeah. And then I just kept doing it. I just took every opportunity that came my way, no matter how little money they offered me, because I wanted to have the chance to prove myself. Then I'll take photos of it, show it on social media. And while it was not really a very good decision in terms of making money, it was good for building up maybe the people who were interested in my art. Yeah.
And also awareness and
awareness, yeah. And even today, everything that I do is word of mouth. Yeah, essentially, people just come to me and go ahead, sorry.
You're pretty strong on social media.
It's I would say that I'm quite a tech dinosaur. Like, I'm quite bad with computers and like just the idea of how do I make the algorithm work for me or whatever. But I started off just doing it. Like my friend actually encouraged me to open my Instagram account and said that, Jacky, you're someone who has a lot of interests and hobbies. Why not every week you commit to posting one thing? Be it like practicing some music, even though I'm not like, I think I'm just a hobbyist at music, really a hobbyist, just for fun. Or maybe you cook something and you show people you cooked, or painting. And then I tried to, shout out to Chris, by the way, if you ever listen to this podcast. Yeah, and then, and then it became more and more art related as it went along. And I tried to post like one painting a week. And it had the double effect of boosting my followers and then people interested in my art, as well as improving my skills because I'm committing to working hard every week and producing something. Yes.
I probably dare suggest that, if you didn't have that kind of, if you didn't put yourself out on IG that way, this solo exhibition probably would have went down very differently.
Oh, why do you say that? Just
because for me, right, the reason why I got to know about your solo exhibition is through IG. And the reason why I even got to know about your work is also through IG as well. And the primary motivation of going to an art exhibition really is to see in real life all these works that I have seen on IG.
Yes.
So I'm not sure how many out of that, maybe 300-400 participants, especially people that you never thought would come. Even your old friends and all, if they haven't been, okay, I'm assuming a portion of them probably have followed you on IG. But if they don't know what you have been doing over the years and what you have been up to, and suddenly you come up with, hey, I'm doing a solo exhibition.
Yes.
Because going to a solo exhibition like this of an artist, right, to me feels like going along with on your journey as well. Yeah, so I've always been very interested in like the marketing and the personal branding kind of thought process people have when they put themselves out there. Do you have any specific philosophy when it comes to like self-branding and online branding?
The answer is probably not very glamorous. I just feel like I want to be myself. Like, I think there's this like, especially on Instagram, you notice like with models and influencers, I feel like there's a need to like present their lives as like really amazing and perfect. For me, I just like want to be, somehow find a way to translate my real life personality, which is I hope kind of friendly and kind of like welcoming, and then put it on my Instagram. Like I'm not claiming to be this amazing master painter or anything like that. like the truth is I've still got a long way to go, like I said before. And I just want people to come along for the journey and let them know that some of my paintings are not going to be perfect. Just like share with them what is the thing that went behind this, what's the struggle behind this painting. Yeah. And that's my mindset. And I think hopefully this like openness is what attracts people to come and see my art, besides the fact that they enjoy the paintings. Yeah.
The internet has compressed this whole entire world and especially the art marketplace into a very small place. So one of the reasons I have had a deeper understanding about this is because of my girlfriend's hobby, right? So she often, she would send me this YouTube channel of artists from Australia.
Yeah.
Then she sends me this sculptor who is living all the way in like US and all. And the thing that amazes me is that you can buy their art on their website and it will be shipped over to you. And it made us talk about, my girlfriend and I, we talk about this idea of, having access to this international kind of marketplace whereby you are no longer constrained to Singapore or even ASEAN or Asia.
Yeah.
You can sell literally. Have you been selling your artwork to, do you have a website or have you been selling to international audience?
So my friend Rohan is always trying to get me to set up my website.
Yeah.
And we actually like halfway through it. But admittedly, we have kind of like taken a pause on that. But yeah, the goal is eventually to have a website where people can come and see my works freely and the prices are there and everything. I feel like I interact best face to face with someone. So like maybe like I said, the internet and all that sometimes confuses me and stuff. I guess I'm really quite a boomer when it comes to something like that. I guess sorry, the question was like just one more time.
The question was, do you see yourself selling internationally?
Yes, that's the goal eventually. Right now I've been quite comfortable selling within Singapore. I think like there's always this notion that Singapore has a very undeveloped art market, which is potentially true compared to the rest of the world. But I feel like this is an opportunity to kind of like dig in and become part and like maybe like a pioneer in that sense of like trying to sell art. Because, okay, not pioneer, there have definitely been generations of artists in Singapore, but just be like one of the first within this generation to like try to like really like take advantage of people here slowly becoming more and more interested in art and then showcasing my art to them. Yes. But eventually the goal is to sell overseas. So to make that come true, I've started doing some like exhibitions overseas. Like there was one in the Canary Islands. I couldn't get my work there physically, so they actually projected my work on the walls. That's one. Then in the UK, this gallery called Virtual Artists, they kind of like took high resolution photos of my art and they put it in a virtual gallery, so you could like walk around in this computer gallery and look around at the art. Yeah. So these are some of my ways I'm trying to expose myself overseas, and then maybe slowly build a following there, and maybe people interested in buying my art overseas.
All this exposure you just talk about, right?
Yes.
How do you approach networking as an artist? Having access to these international kind of gigs, right?
Yes.
Obviously, there must have been a touch point whereby you all got in touch.
Yes.
How do you approach networking?
Maybe less as a painter and more as a person. I actually quite dislike networking with someone just for the sake of like taking advantage of an opportunity. Like, oh, I know this guy is a gallery owner, therefore I'm going to walk up to him and try to pretend to be friendly with him. I don't really like that. So I must say that I'm quite lucky that when I was younger, I was so unfocused with my studies and more focused on just talking to everyone that I saw. Any stranger, I'm very thick-skinned now. I'll talk to them. And if they don't like the fact that I'm talking to them, then the conversation will end and never talk again. But if they end up enjoying it, then we become friends. And I guess that's why my art, when I first started off doing this whole painting thing, there's a lot of support coming from my social group, because I guess I knew quite a few people and they were happy to see me like try and succeed, or maybe try and fail, but at least I'm trying. Yeah, so with that in mind, I guess networking, for me, I'm very lucky that I really enjoy talking to people just because I want to get to know them. And therefore, when like things happen and maybe they are the right person for what I need, we might already have something going on.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's more organic in that sense. And in the same way, like all these external, international opportunities, they came my way because I've built a following on Instagram. And I guess they found out about me in a similar way to you. I don't know them personally, but they added me and they saw my work and then somehow they just approached me and it worked out. Yeah.
Okay. For some other younger artists out there, right, you just want to pick your brains a bit. Because for some artists, they are good at their craft, but they might not be good at this. They might not be as outspoken as you, being able to like strike up conversation with everybody, and they are stuck in their room, not knowing how to like get their name out there, right? What's your advice to them?
I think you kind of described me when I was younger in the sense that maybe I'm good or like not good at, but willing to talk to people. But it's very hard, I think, because there's so many talented artists out there, more talented than me probably, and they might never experience some sort of like success with their art career. Because how do you make yourself like a brand? Like that's a very scary, large, impossible thought, right? It doesn't come naturally to me.
And there's no formula to that as well.
No formula, yeah. So I guess my advice is to focus on your skills first. Make it such that even if you are such an unlikable person, nobody even likes you as a person, or maybe they cares about you as a person, your art is undeniably good. Like they would have to, yeah. I feel the opposite would be bad. Let's say your art isn't that developed, like you don't really put that much effort into growing it, but you're excellent at branding and marketing. I feel like that kind of like is not the way to go. You may sell a lot of art, but I don't think you'll be as proud of your paintings or art as... It doesn't have to be visual art, by the way. It can be like music, Yeah. So I suggest to work on your skills first. And this is not really what you're asking, but I also think another piece of advice is to prepare to fail. Be prepared to fail. More like don't expect just because your art is very beautiful and everyone tells you so that you're going to become a very successful painter, Like people, it's very easy to say that your art is good, but when money is involved and they must put forth like 4 digits, 5 digits for your art, will people be still interested? Maybe it might not be, Yeah. Just because you're so talented doesn't mean it will always work out, I think, yeah. A lot of luck is involved.
I like to kind of draw parallel to like the music industry, right? Whereby technology and internet, right, has made it such that it's so easy to showcase your talent and your passion to the world. You can broadcast to the world like with your mobile phones,
Yeah.
So that generation, right, of having very little artists, but it's easier to become famous. So if anyone who practically has a label sign you up and you cut an album, right, you are probably going to have a certain amount of fame.
Yes.
Yeah, but compared to now, right, it's like anyone can like, you can audition for The Voice, you can, you can do a TikTok duet with like John Mayer, you can do, it's a double-edged sword, right? Because it also means that the whole marketplace has become a lot more competitive. You are competing with talents from like in US, that small little town, in their bedroom, that really talented artists, you are essentially competing. People are going to pay either for his or for yours.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think of this competition that's in the art place right now?
I agree with you. Definitely there's going to be a lot more comparison between artists because like, it's easier to access and view all of them, right? But I don't really feel like it needs to be viewed as competition. Like, you're doing your own thing, like, you have to... The only reason why I compare myself to other artists is to learn from them. That's the only reason. Because I feel like it can become quite toxic very quickly when, this guy has a similar style to me, Is my work better than his or is his better than mine? And then, like, I feel like it becomes less about trying to improve your skills and becomes more about, like, once again, it's almost like a dick measuring contest, like, who's the better artist? And I really think that's unnecessary, yeah. I feel like... Yeah, that's actually all I have to say about that.
Have you ever went on Google,
yes.
search for artists that have maybe similar profile to you, and looked at their price they are selling their artwork?
The truth is, no. Actually, I feel, firstly, right, especially when I'm first starting off, it could become very demoralizing very quickly if you look at someone and say, that guy's work is very similar to mine, but why is his work worth so much more than mine?
And people are buying it, sold out, it's sold out.
Yeah, so I just try to... Actually, all I want to do is earn an honest living from my art. The fact that I get to do something that I love so much as a job and earn like alright money for it is more than I could ask for already. Like some people are so unhappy working in like jobs that earn so much money that I feel like this alternative is so much more desirable to me. And then I think because what I do, right, I think you've been asking about like pricing and stuff recently. How I price my work when I first started, it was quite low for even a big painting. I'll charge quite low. But what I try to do is I always like slowly just up the price, like, because I feel like as you do more and more, your confidence builds and you feel like the value is worth it.
And it's always demand supply as well.
Yeah, demand supply.
When more people demand it,
yeah.
then you can, and there's...
Yeah, because over time, like, it costs more to produce a painting, because now as an adult, I have more responsibilities and things. So like I tell the person that I value my work, I think it's worth something. And if you're willing to pay, I'll do it. If not, it's okay. No hard feelings, no worries at all. Yeah.
At this point, I want to apologize to you and the viewers if I come across sounding a bit mercenary, talking about the business aspect of it.
No,
but
not at all.
For me, it's very important,
Yeah.
like trying to understand that part of it, because the way I try and think of it, right, is that someone who is watching this and looking at you and thinking of whether this can be something viable, at the end of it comes down to whether you can put bread on the table.
No, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, and whether you can do it and the ways to do it and the process to get to doing it is very, very important. Because or else it will just be a hobby. And if it's a hobby, there's no issue. You can enjoy it, But it's only when you try and make it when you want to make it a business, then you need to... sorry, let me just adjust.
No, it's okay, no worries, yeah.
I want to talk about the local art community.
Yes.
What's your take on... Is there like a local art community at your level?
Actually, it's quite widespread. I think there are a lot of painters, artists, digital artists, all these sort of people in Singapore, and they form their own little communities. I honestly think before, maybe you asked me this 2 years ago, I was essentially unaware of the art community in Singapore. I just kept my head down and just worked on my own paintings. And maybe because in part of what I said about not wanting to compare myself to others and then get into this whole toxic mindset. But then recently, been meeting a lot of artists and realized it's really quite a big group of them. I'm personally more aware of the digital artists, the ones who do it for prints, for merchandise for various companies and F&B. Maybe less of the traditional painting, which is what I do. Yeah. And also, I just wanted to quickly jump back to what you said about the mercenary thing. I didn't think so at all. I think it's natural to be curious about how can someone do this artsy, crafty thing and somehow make money from this. I think it's completely natural. People always ask me this question oh, Jacky, so is this your full-time thing?
Yeah.
And then obviously I know what the real question is if this is your full-time thing, how can you possibly survive on this?
And also the question that they're probably paiseh to ask is, how much money can you make a month from this?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And if you asked me this a few years back, there's no way that I was earning enough to pay rent or anything. I guess I just was thinking to myself that I'm still young. I mean, everyone's definition of young is different, but I think I'm still young. And I feel like I have the chance to make mistakes. I always hear this advice from my friends' dads, when you're young, when you first get recruited into a company, make as many mistakes as you can, because you're still young. Once you're older, people expect you to know everything. So even though I'm not in a corporate job, I felt like this advice still held true for me. Sorry.
Do you mind putting your age out there for context?
Oh, no. I just turned 28, this year.
Okay.
Yeah. And yeah, I still feel like I'm quite young. I don't know. That's maybe to each person is different. Yeah, and I feel there's still time to make mistakes now. I think, yeah. Because honestly, if it takes me till when I'm 40 to become ultra successful, I think that's fine. And even if I don't become ultra successful, if I just live my life and make mistakes, I just want to learn. I think that's all I want to do. Yes.
So the local art community, right?
Yes.
Do you guys get together through channels like Discord, Twitter? How do you go? How do you...
For me, whenever I use Discord, it's really just for gaming. I think it's mostly through Instagram.
Okay.
Maybe because of the way that it works, you will end up being exposed to other different artists. And if they catch your eye, I'm quite thick-skinned in real life. Right? I'll talk to a stranger on the street. So same goes for Instagram. I'll just say, wow, this painting is amazing. And then my expectation is that there is no expectation. If they don't reply me, that's fine. I literally just shared it because I really felt that way about their work. But I think oftentimes, when they realize that you're also a painter or artist or whatever, they start to, thanks so much for taking time to compliment my work, and then we become friends, and that's how we meet up. I've met up with people that I didn't know personally at first, and then we end up meeting up and talking and stuff. Yeah, so it's been quite nice.
How has your style evolved over the years?
So I think if anyone sees my paintings, they can tell that I love large, colorful, big paintings. They're not very realistic, but they're kind of like, you get an impression of what it is, and the style is called Impressionism, right? Like my idol was like Monet. Everyone knows Monet and his water lilies, and Van Gogh, and those are the big names that, of course, there are other painters that I like, but maybe less famous. At first, I never ever tried to copy their work. I think I just saw their style and just tried to take a few tips that I could visually see that they were doing and take it into my own work. I felt like there was no point trying to copy their work, at least for me at the time, because that means I can paint their work, but maybe I can't paint my own work. I wanted to be able to use those skills that I'm learning and apply it to any subject I wanted to paint. Yeah, I think over the years, I got more and more confident. Like I kept trying different things when I was younger, and maybe like each time I did it, I learned one thing from it. I learned, okay, maybe this is a bad thing to do or a good thing to do, and I just took it all into my current work. I find it hard to use words to describe art in general, not even my own work, just art in general. And honestly, I'm finding it hard right now, just to you, like telling you how it has evolved. But I feel happier and happier about my work, and that's really all I want from it. Yeah, I don't know if you saw some of my paintings, my old ones, as well as my new ones. I don't know if you saw like any big obvious difference to you. If not,
Well, I mean, as a lay person looking at going to your exhibition, right? I mean, of course, one of the best things about going to an exhibition was, because you displayed like some of your earliest work, right? Like you were explaining to us,
Yes,
this is
yes.
like my earliest, this is my. To me, as a lay person, it just simply felt like there was a lot of improvement in your work.
Thank you. Yeah,
Like
And
from your first work to like your current work, it just feels like, wow, the standard is like.
I shy.
Yeah.
Thanks. No lah. I think frankly, outside of the fact that I paint so much, right? I feel like I'm quite a lay person as well. Like when I go to a gallery with my girlfriend and we're walking around, I really have no real input to say like, and it's like, oh wow, nice or not nice. Like I feel like in a way, like if you ask me about my branding, I really feel internally that I'm just your average neighborhood person who loves to paint lah. That's really what I want to be. I don't feel the need to express myself in my dressing or whatever. That wow, I'm clearly a painter, an artist. Look at me, like appreciate me as an artist. I just want my work to speak for itself lah. Yeah. I think so.
Do you have any mentors over the years?
I never went to like a proper art school or anything like that, right? But in my school, I was very lucky to meet these two teachers. Their names are Mr. Danny To and Mr. Lowell Farlow. And they were in charge of the art program and the ones who introduced me to painting. And they were like kind of good cop, bad cop. Mr. Danny To was a bit more strict, a bit more firm, but he'll tell you, like if you don't work hard, you're just not going to improve lah. Whereas Mr. Farlow was more encouraging. So I think they work as a team, and the two of them really helped me so much. We are still in contact till today lah. It's been over like 12, 14 years since I first met them, right? No, yeah, okay, maybe when I was 16, sorry. Yeah, about 12 years. Yeah, and we still email each other and stuff, yeah.
Do you see this as your full-time career for a good, like maybe until retirement or the next 10, 20 years? What's your plan like?
I would say that yes, this is my full-time plan. Plans can change, plans can fail, but this is my plan. I'm going to keep working at it and keep improving. I don't necessarily believe in myself as a painter right now, but I believe in my potential to keep growing. Like
What do you mean by that? You don't believe in yourself as a painter right now?
If you told me that, Jacky, we want you right now to be in the Sotheby's, is that how you pronounce it? Auction overseas and be put up next to all these like $1 million artists. I don't think I'm like that level. Like I think there's still so much I need to do to improve. Like I think I can be more refined. But I really believe that I have the energy and determination to just keep pushing at it for the next 10, 20, 50, I don't know if I'll live that long, 50 years, and just keep working at it. Yeah, and I really, really believe that this is going somewhere.
What does it take to get to that level though? When you are at this level that you are at right now,
Yes.
right? To get to that Sotheby's and to get to that, what's the other auction house name? The very famous one, Christie.
Yes.
Yeah. Is it this thing between talent and hard work? Putting in more work.
Yes.
So as an athlete, it's pretty straightforward, right? You have a certain amount of innate talent.
Yes.
But if you don't work on your craft, you don't go for training,
Yes.
you don't practice shooting your hoops and all, you're not going to get a lot better to play in the NBA and all. So for you at your level now, what is it that you need to work on to get to that level?
Well, I like the analogy that you brought up because like I used to be a semi-competitive long distance runner, and why I loved it so much, even though it's so different from painting, which is my first love, is that it's so objective. Like if your timing is not good, you're clearly not the best.
And you are working towards the next PB.
The next PB. There's a clear, but for painting, like, how do you really say it's better? I have people coming to my exhibition and saying, wow, your first work from 2011 is my favorite. Then I'm thinking to myself, but I've improved, right? Why is this your favorite? But actually, it's all subjective kind of taste, So it's very hard to say. I think the big thing that sets people apart there at the auction house and me is maybe just experience and the utmost confidence in their work. Like, they don't care what people say about their work. Or if people say something bad about it, they know that they internally know the value of the work. But also the truth is, I guess there's a lot of like branding and marketing. Some artists that are propped up, so it's very hard to say. Like, I have no real answer for this, but I believe that actually wrong. Actually, I don't really care if I ever end up in the auction house. Like I said, all I really want is to be to like earn an honest living from this. And if I can earn more than that, that's really icing on the cake, lah. Yeah.
For something as subjective as this, right?
Yes.
There's always this. How do we be humble and grounded, which is a virtue? Everybody should, to a certain extent, be humble and be grounded. But at the same time, like you talk about artists, whereby you need to have this self-confidence. Like, if even yourself, you don't believe in the value of your work, right?
Yeah.
How do you shout out that amount that you're asking for?
Yes.
And just being very certain about it and say that, hey, look, this is the price. This is the price for commission, take it or leave it. This is the price for this piece that you love to have on your wall at home, take it or leave it. How do you balance that and how do you approach it?
I think for me, for everyone, probably one side is easier than the other. Like, for some people, they're naturally proud of themselves. No matter what people say about them, they're proud, even if maybe their work doesn't deserve that pride yet. Whereas, for some people, no matter how good their work is, they're always just beating themselves up and think, I can be better, and then they don't feel confident in their work. I think for myself, because I, at the very least, know that even if I'm not a good artist, I feel like I've improved over the years. So I think that improvement and that determination to keep trying has helped me earn a bit of self-pride. I feel quite happy with how my work is growing, but I know there's still a long way to go. The humility part, I just don't think I'm that great yet. So I think it's quite easy to be humble. I think because there's nothing to be so proud of yet. Even my exhibition is, for some people, this is the goal, to put up an exhibition. But for me, I feel like there's so much more to do. And even looking around my work in the exhibition, I felt like, wow, this could have been a lot better if I worked harder or, been more focused or whatever. But I'm still proud of them extremely, Yeah. Wow. Yeah. I don't know.
Future of art.
Yes.
The last probably 1 year-ish, 2 years, there's this explosion of awareness on NFTs, right?
Yes.
And you hear about the crazy prices that people are paying. And now you are hearing about the crazy disparity in the price that people actually paid and the actual value of the NFTs.
Yes.
For example, I think the first tweet that Jack Dorsey made, was sold for a certain amount of money, and now it's literally not worth a lot of.
No.
It's worth a fraction
Yes.
of the original price that was paid by the person. And we also, I don't know if you are reading up on the cryptocurrency space. But these few days, there's just been bloodshed, the peg has depegged, and the value of crypto has plunged 90% for some coins,
Yes.
What do you intend, or do you see yourself dabbling in NFTs, or how do you plan to digitize your art if you are intending to?
I think when I was first introduced to the NFT idea, it sounded too good to be true. I was like, wow, I can earn millions. Or whatever, not me but people can earn millions from doing this. But the more I thought about it, I realized that my interest in NFTs is purely out of greed, I think. As an artist, just the idea that can make so much money out of this. Of course, it sounds like something that you should get involved with.
FOMO.
Yeah, right, a bit like that. But I know myself, I know what my painting strength is, that when you get to see it in person, when you really, I don't think there's anything special about taking a photo of my work personally and putting it online. Maybe, and I'm very happy for all the artists out there who have made a lot of money from it. If this is the game, play the game, right? Earn the money, right? Sure. But I know, or at least I feel like my root isn't really here. Some of my friends also invest in NFTs, and I think they've made some money off it, and I'm happy for them. But I just don't think it's my thing, lah. You know, I really believe in the value of getting to see the work in person, because you know we're all stuck to our screens all day, right? I feel like if there's anything that can help you look up from your screen, be it like go out into nature or like look at my art in person, whatever, there's some value in that. Yeah, so that's what I want for my work.
Are there any other art forms that you are looking to create in the future?
All these years, right, I love painting so much, and that's why I produce so many paintings. But the truth is, I've been working out my bedroom for like I don't know how long.
Yep.
Yeah, right. The last 10 years, and there's no space for anything. If you ever walk into my bedroom, I'm a man of many hobbies. I have like a keyboard, I have a drum set, I have a computer, and then I have 70 paintings stacked up against the walls. So literally, all I have is a mattress on the floor. That's my own personal space. And if I want to paint, I lift up the mattress and use that space to paint. So it's very hard to make sculptures. It's very hard to make things that require 3-dimensional space to store. Yeah. But now I'm finally actually going to move out. Like next month, I found a HDB apartment.
Oh, great.
And I'm going to get it for 6 months, and I'm going to treat it as a working space. And I think that's my chance to expand out of just painting and doing other things. Yeah.
So you took the whole apartment?
Yes. That's why just now when I first walked into your place, I was like, wow, this is so big. And then I guess I'm finally been thinking about like what it means to own or live or rent a space. So
Yeah.
that's why I was so interested.
Hey, so basically it's like what I'm doing now.
Yeah, essentially, I
Yeah,
want
I
to.
know.
I guess I was kind of what's the word, like psionically like inspired by you. You know, like
This is like my this is my living space,
Yeah,
of course, it's my house, and you know, it's like my work studio as well. You know, you see my workstation out there, you see my studio inside one of the rooms and all.
This is the dream for me, lah. You know, like getting to live in a space and getting to do your hobby, your passion, your career in that space as well. Like I like it, and because at least for you, it's like isolated in one room. If you ever get sick of this talk show stuff, which I don't think so, like it looks like you're going strong. Yeah, you can take a break from it and go to your other rooms.
Yep.
And all that. Yeah, right.
Yeah. So obviously having the opportunity to do this for the next 6 months is going to be huge for you, right?
Huge, yeah.
So what are your plans? Do you have, because it comes with a commitment, like a financial commitment to rent out the space, and for every, I always feel that as like solopreneur, you know, whereby we are like self-commissioned, freelancer, or you want to call sole proprietor, whatever, right? Every amount of resource, financial or not, that we commit to, there's always an opportunity cost to it, right? Making this commitment, going to this space for 6 months, do you set yourself any goals or targets to achieve in the next 6 months?
Oh, absolutely. I think the secret to why my business has worked out so well the last whatever number of years is the fact that there was no real cost. Like the only cost was the canvas and the paint, which isn't that much compared to what I was making. And I think the reason why I never rented out a studio space is the fear of like, what if that month I don't produce anything and I'm just like leaking money. But I think that this choice to get a HDB or like a space to work in is essentially me making a commitment to myself that you know you can do this and you want to do this. It's time to get serious and produce more. Yeah. So that's why I'm doing it, and I feel very confident of my ability to keep producing it. And I guess I also frankly have saved up a certain amount of money. So I decided, even if I decide to go into depression for the next 6 months and just a coma and just like lie there on my bed, I think I'll survive lah. But I don't want that to be the case, but I'm prepared for the worst case scenario. So I have a lot of plans. Like I said, I want to produce these giant paintings of space, like galaxies. That's one. I've recently been approached by a film, like a Korean film. They want to create a hotel full of orchid paintings and orchid related paraphernalia. So they're approaching me to do that. So I'm going to use the space to do that. These are just some ideas of things I'm going to use the space for, essentially.
And I suppose it's also an extension of really needing a space to do all the projects that we have on hand right now.
I feel a bit claustrophobic in my room. And I think, honestly, this exhibition, I blame the exhibition because I've always been okay with working in my room. But after being in my exhibition space and being able to work luxuriously with, surrounded by space, that I can't go back to working in my room.
They say that after your mind is stretched, right?
Yeah.
You can't go back to that.
Go back,
you can't go back.
Once you get used to comfort, right, you cannot go. So I found a middle ground, which is like, at least now I have a whole apartment to myself, which I'm paying rent for, compared to this tiny room. Yeah.
As an artist, right, sometimes like as a creative, okay, for me, it's actually pretty straightforward. I don't really face this thing called like a writer's block or creative block. Because for me, a production is more of a process.
Yes.
Like, booking the guests, going through the questions, then doing this interview. And after the interview, I need to do the edits. So I know very exactly, I'm very clear what is the next step
Yes.
that I need to do to get an episode out
Yes. Yes.
there,
yes.
How do you manage stress of delivering commercial work and just knowing that you have that space to creatively do what you're best at?
Well, I'm gonna break this apart, right? Let's say for commissions, the concept is people will come to me, oh, Jacky, we really, really want to get, let's say, an ocean in my room. Or like maybe I want something blue in my room. Then we start to talk it out and figure it out. And once we've decided upon the idea and I start painting, I always tell them this, I don't charge by time, I charge by size. And therefore, the reason why I don't charge by time is I feel like there's some sort of integrity here where like I may end up like, oh, this purposely painting slower so I can earn more money. So I don't want that. And by extension, since I'm charging by size, I'm okay with, I don't want to rush the painting. I want to only give it to you once it's ready. And I hope I can get your permission to like take as long as I need. I won't give it to you until I'm proud of it. And that's why I guess there's usually no deadlines. So there's not that stress where like, oh, I need to get it done by this time or that time, usually. But also then I must be true to myself and I must be truthful that, okay, like, I can't procrastinate. I need to keep working hard and producing the painting. So I guess I kind of forgot the question already. I don't know. I sometimes do that. But essentially what you're asking
the
is...
stress of commercial work delivery and knowing that you're creatively at your best.
My stress is not time related, not time based. The stress is more like knowing that there's this painting sitting in my room. It's been here for months. The guy's expecting it. And making sure that I'm proud of it before I get to it. Because I don't want to give him a half-ass work. Yeah. And maybe it's you're asking me this asking me this question at a good time because like things are transitioning. I'm now going from being just a fresh graduate working on paintings and like just like doing whatever I want, and then transitioning to like this is my bread and butter. I need to produce something every month to get money on the table.
And also like the Korean movie project you're talking about.
Yeah,
there's a deadline. I'm sure there's a deadline to
absolutely.
it. Absolutely. Yeah.
And the truth is I work best with a deadline. But it's like, do I really want to commit to the deadline or not? Like it's like I know it's good for me, but do I want to do it? Like for some people this is logical, right? Yeah. Obviously you work best with a deadline and you can get money immediately in like a week's time or 2 weeks time. Yeah. But for me, like I feel like sometimes like I don't want to force myself. So it's a bit of a balancing act also because I don't want to burn out on painting. I don't want to, because right now I'm getting approached by so many commissions and I can't take all of them. So I need to be like true to myself. Say, okay, this one, as much as they are willing to give so much money, I know that I don't have the mind space to do what they need. So I have to turn it down or put them on a waiting list, maybe. Stuff like that.
It's a dream, right? To be at this.
Yeah, for sure.
Place
like,
now.
I always tell my friends when they ask me how are you doing, Jacky, and I say, I'm very busy. But busy is good. Busy is the best. If I'm not busy, that means there's nothing happening and I'm lost. Yeah.
Like I wanted to get 2 new tattoos.
Oh wow.
So I wanted to like go back to the artist that I have one on my back that was done by this artist. She's so busy now. I tell you. So how she works, right? I mean, this is just a side story.
No, please.
How she works is now, right? If you go to her with your own like a generic design or that you want to get done, she would probably 100% turn you down. Okay. She only does work that allows her to exercise her creative muscles. So you literally have to commission her to say, hey, this is a picture of my cat. Can you design something about my cat that I can then, have it done on myself? It's just so difficult to book her. Yeah. I've emailed her like 6 months ago. Until now, I still haven't heard from her. Yeah. So what do you think of this, if I can say, like privilege that you are enjoying right now?
I don't know your tattoo artist, but I guess we went through similar paths. I'm sure in the past she would have accepted your design. Just okay, I'll do it.
Yep. You have to start somewhere.
Yeah, for sure. And I remember taking on so many jobs that I just in my heart I just didn't enjoy the idea of. But I knew I need this chance. I need to show people that I can do this. But now it's like if certain people that approach me with a certain idea, even the nice people, and the idea is really not something I enjoy, what I usually do is I will try to tell them, I really don't think this is necessarily a good idea, or maybe I'm the right person for the job. Yep. Like So is it okay if we morph it to this, which is similar enough, but I get to put my own spin on it? If cannot, then I'll have to respectfully part ways. Like, no, this is not really what I want to do. And like you said, the privilege of being able to turn down a job means that that there's demand coming your way. So yeah, I mean, I'm sure every artist wants that for themselves, and I'm slowly getting there. And yeah, I'm very happy to be reaching this point. Yeah.
Okay. Of course, you're still very young, 28. And we all know that in Singapore, right, there's this kind of, in society, there's this kind of like trajectory that most people go on. You date a nice girl, then later you get married, then you think of like applying for a BTO. And the thing about freelancers, solopreneurs like us is that we don't have that CPF contribution as well, so we need to be very prudent and very disciplined with our finances, with our money.
Yes.
And then maybe you have like children if you want to, then you are faced with like aging parents and all.
Yes.
What's your thought process behind like this typical future or this norm future, and how do you deal with it? Like, what are your plans for it?
Oh no. I think that even if you end up living a life like this stereotypical, or every Singaporean is aware of this like general idea, like maybe some people even strive towards it. Who knows? Yeah. I think the key is to be happy. Like if this is what makes you happy, then go for it. For myself, I think there are certain elements where maybe it doesn't appeal to me as much. Like, I love my free time. I love my hobbies and my passion. The reason why I can do what I'm doing is because I had free time to pursue this. And I must say I'm quite selfish in the sense that I don't really want to have children. Because I think that firstly, I can barely take care of myself sometimes. Why would I want to inflict that onto a child? But also, I want to be able to continue pursuing my passion with like all out. Even like having a partner, a significant other, is like a commitment already. I can't imagine adding more to that already. Yeah. But to each their own, and I think it's a changing world. And at the end of the day, you're living for yourself. I think you need to take care of yourself and your loved ones, and don't make decisions because society is forcing you to do so. But yeah, to each their own. I'm sure even what I just said, which I already tried to be quite careful about what I said, but I'm sure there are people out there who will disagree with what I just said. So like, to each their own. Yeah.
So you are able to pretty much have like an independent kind of mindset and like shut out a bit of that societal noise.
This is actually, I think, it's not even like related to painting or being an artist or a creative. I just don't like
pursuing your goals.
I just don't like it when people tell me what to do or what I need to do. I think, frankly. Like, even back in school, when my teachers told me that if you don't do this, you will fail or whatever, I felt like almost zero fear. Maybe I just felt afraid that they would tell my parents and my parents would kill me at home. But I didn't feel the societal fear that, oh no, because I felt like everyone will find a way to survive, whatever it is. And yeah, it's just that, like, for instance, maybe in Singapore, like, if you didn't end up becoming the typical engineer or one of those like big name jobs, there's a lot of jobs you could do that you could earn money. And like it's not even like you're not even compromising. It's just a different choice, an alternate way of life. Like becoming a hawker center, like selling a chicken rice. People are doing that like of my generation, and I know that they're earning good money, and they don't need a degree for that, right? So like, it's just that maybe for some people, like the idea of waking up 4 a.m. in the morning to do this very different job is not what they want for their life. So like, once again, to each their own. Yeah.
There are just so many pathways to success now, right?
Yeah.
Because of like the new economy and all, for jobs like the ones we do, creating content creation, creating art, in a way, for me, in a way.
Yes.
Yeah, because obviously it's very different too. But oftentimes, it's like you are a genius until you get there, when you get there. But before that, people are like, huh, what are you doing?
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
I always say that it's very easy to support someone once they have experienced a level of success.
Yeah.
But it's when you're watching them struggle, like maybe for me when I first started painting, I wasn't that great.
Yeah.
And like if I told you like, oh, I'm going to become a painter one day, then people are like, okay, sure, So sometimes I think it's just nice to be, even regardless of career, just be warm and encouraging to people. Just tell them that I really hope you can keep improving, or really I'm glad to see you trying. Like Because like that's when people truly need the support. Like for instance, Bruno Mars, singer, doesn't need your support now.
Yep.
He's already mega successful.
Yep.
But it was when he first started off that maybe people were a bit doubtful of him.
That kid at 12-year-old singing in a living room.
Yeah, for sure. That's
like when you meet him during Chinese New Year, what do you say to him?
That's the kid that needs support. Sorry, but also on the other hand, I feel like everyone who decides to take an alternate path to life, right, needs to have a lot of personal accountability. You need to accept the fact that you made this choice, and if you fail, it's no one's fault. Not even your own fault necessarily, but it's no one's fault. You can't blame your parents for not telling you to take a normal route. You chose to do this, for me, if I fail at art, I'm fine with that. It's my choice. I fail on my own terms. Yeah. So that's why I feel that way. Yeah.
So looking into the future, right?
Yes.
What does success look to you or would mean to you?
I just want as many people to see my work as possible. So that's like the goal. Not that will help pay the bills or anything, but that's the goal. So I just want everything else to contribute to this goal, like earning enough so that I don't have to worry about money, or like at least worrying about every month paycheck to paycheck. I already reached that kind of point, and I feel very, very grateful and very lucky. There's a lot of luck involved. The fact that people are interested in my work, like maybe I could have done everything that I did, but things just didn't work out, So that's one thing. I want to exhibit in as many galleries as possible. I want to create like public mural art, which I haven't done that much of actually. Like that's something I really want to do, but I don't know why. Even though my skills, I think it's like very suited to it, like doing large scale, colorful work. I haven't done that many. Maybe the wrong context. Maybe like people who are in that industry that are not very like aware of me. So I need to work towards that. But very soon, actually next month, I'm going to be doing some murals for Serangoon, the Void Decks. The GRC there kind of like approached me and they said, oh, we want to do a mural celebrating Serangoon's origin. Serangoon is actually named after a migratory bird. And so I'm going to be painting a lot of migratory birds and a
cool.
wetland. Yeah. So that's my first big step into public mural art. Because I've done some for restaurants and bars before, but sometimes they can be a bit exclusive. Not everyone will get to see them.
Yes.
So
I want to ask one last question on like the business aspect of it.
Of course, please.
So sometimes when a business reaches a certain level, right, we think of like how do we scale our operations. Like for me, maybe I want to have like 2 studios. I want to have another host hosting another show. Do you still intend to very much be a solo artist, or do you there are some artists that I saw that basically they try to make a business of their hobby, right, by maybe signing on other artists, and having like a collective agency to like take on commission work, and then you become the boss of it. Do you have any plans for that?
I think if you ask any of my friends, just the idea of me like becoming a boss and hiring people to do this is very laughable because I'm very bad at management or anything like that. The fact that I've gotten this far is already a miracle in itself. I feel like for myself, what I'm doing is passion first and business second. The business is a very close second, but it's not the focus here. I really want to remain the solo artist and doing my thing and just like trying to improve. But I really like the idea of collaboration. Like I really like, even in this in itself is a collaboration, right? I like working with musicians. Like so, I've been, for instance, like when now I create like time lapses to show people my process. I will always approach a musician that I know in real life and ask, can we like do a thing, where I blast you out and your music is out there and your followers find out about me and my followers find out about you, like that kind of thing. I really like these ideas. But all in all, in terms of painting, I think I really want to be like just a one-person job and just do it myself. I already feel like I've spent a lot of social energy every day talking to people because I like talking to people. So it's nice that I can come back home and that this is one thing that I can do for myself and by myself. Yeah.
Just now you have really talked about your advice to aspiring artists, for them to continue working on their craft.
Oh yeah, please. Yeah.
Do you have any other things to say to aspiring artists? Because I know that there are many people who are trying to, they might be in the struggle process, trying to like figure out, is this viable? Where can I go? Do you have any other advice for them?
Okay, one moment. Let me think about this. So what we said was that I think the skills they need to really develop. That's the key thing. And secondly, I guess take personal accountability if you fail. Like this is a choice you made yourself to pursue this. Like no one's guaranteeing you success, right? Okay, the second thing. The third thing is not really advice, but what I want to say is that if any of them are listening to this podcast right now, please feel free to reach out to me at my Instagram or whatever. If you have any questions, I'm more than happy to share. Because I think back when I was starting off, there's so many struggles and I had to kind of figure it out myself. And it would have been so nice if someone could have shared with me. So I would happily be that person. If any questions, just come to me and talk to me. I will happily share whatever I know, which is not that much, but at least there's like 10, 12 years of experience. Yeah. Yeah.
Great, Jacky. Do you have anything else to add?
No, but thank you so much for having me. This has been great. I think I was quite restless at the beginning. I really didn't know how this was going to turn out, but I think you've been a great host and I'm so happy to be here. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Please,
like I said, going to your exhibition has been very enjoyable.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
And I also noticed that a couple of your works are now on auction, right?
Yes.
For charity.
Yes. I was mistaken. It wasn't auction. It's first come, first serve.
Okay.
But they are now being exhibited at this place in town called Grits Coffee, a cafe. So if you want to check it out, my work is there along with a lot of amazing other artists. So yeah, that's it.
Yeah, and I want to put it out there that one day I would I would love to have you commission some
No.
I would love to have one of your commissioned artwork in my future studio or something.
Don't give me hope. If
Yeah.
you say this, that means I'll take it. I'll put you down on the waiting list already.
Yeah, we'll keep in touch.
No.
No, but actually, I the other thing is that I see a lot of parallel in where we are in our career right now. I mean, of course, I have just started this not too long ago, but of course, I also had 12, 13 years of experience working in another career. And I always say that, just being able to host this show, right, also comes from 12 years of training as a consultant as well, talking to people. So I'm very happy for you. Very happy for your solo exhibition once again. Look forward to your next one.
Thank you.
We'll keep in touch. And I think you have very, very generously, right, offered to give some advice personally to people who are lost and struggling.
Yes.
Thank you for your time today. And I look forward to having you again soon.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Jacky. Thank you.
Please.